Imagine this. The 2.6 livestream has just ended, and a few days after you scroll YouTube and you find a video titled Wuthering Waves Peak Predatory Practices 2.6 livestream. With a title as out there as that, I thought, you know what, I'll watch it. And the first 30 seconds made me realize that not everything is sunshine and rainbows. Today we're actually going to be watching this video and kind of giving my 2 cents on it, because I have seen enough of this video. And before we go any further, please do not send any hate to this channel. The name is DGenKingYT. If you have been in and around the gacha space for maybe about a year, you might recognize them. I actually believe they commented on a few of my videos. I think the name does ring a bell. However, I just wanted to gauge just how stupid some people can be when it comes to gacha games. So this might be an eye-opener for me, actually, because I didn't think that people could be this dumb, but maybe they are. Anyways, let's begin. Okay, so here we are. I'm not even going to bother full screening it because, yeah.
I remember back in the day when Mavic and Sea Lolly just came out in Genshin Impact, and Genshin Impact did a very predatory thing, which was locking 10 poles behind the second phase of the banner.
Yes, okay. I remember that. I actually covered that. I believe I got like 12,000 views on it or something. So, yes, they definitely deserved the hate that they got for that. Now, as you can tell, you can already see where this is going. Well, I can already see where this is going anyways, even when I watched it the first time. I can already see where this is going. But yes, Genshin did deserve that. 100%. Because it is a predatory practice. Let's move on.
And everybody rightfully criticized it, both on the Kurobot side that are willing to find some reason to hate Hoyo Games, and Genshin Impact players collectively.
Well, I mean, sure, right, you can say Kurobots found it as an excuse to do that, but at the end of the day, who really started it? Let's be real.
Thankfully, we have not seen this implemented again in Genshin Impact, and I hope it stays
Which is
that
good.
way. But Winter Waves has somehow surpassed us in the aspect of being predatory with that very same move.
Yeah, okay, sure, right. This is a very big accusation, by the way, because Genshin has some of the most predatory practices out there. So to say that Wuthering Waves has surpassed that is a bit, oh dear.
By not doing it once in the anniversary, but actually doing it again in 2.6 right now.
Okay. No, I can see where they're coming from, right? I believe we had a 10 pull, like, in the second phase of the anniversary. So after Zanny's banner. I think. So, sure, right? Again, like, on a surface level, that's valid, I suppose.
Where they're going to be leaving 10 poles locked behind the second half of the banner. And nobody's outraged about it. Nobody is criticizing it. Everybody seems to be okay with it. Everybody's
Okay, now, this is where it becomes ridiculous, right? People did talk about it for a tiny bit. Saying no one was outraged was just a blatant lie. I believe I even thought, it is behind the second half. That might have some predatory implications. But the thing is, these people do not like to look at the fine print. They do not like to look at nuance.
seen it as best value, meaning that you're going to get 10 poles towards your Luna poles rather than just give us all poles up front. But it is what it is. I have nothing to complain. Like, I saw this coming. Like, as long as you have a toxic positivity community and don't want to criticize their games, these
Okay.
predatory practices.
Okay. Toxic positivity community that doesn't want to criticize their games. Okay. What about the reception for the anniversary? I think the reception for the anniversary was terrible. I think the majority of the community, even the people that sucked the game's cock, including myself, said it wasn't up to standard. I agree that the anniversary was bad. I did. The anniversary is bad. It was bad. Like, the only redeeming thing about it, in my opinion, was the Chacona quest in the second phase. So I don't know where this whole toxic positivity community thing's coming from. I think you're confusing toxic positivity with just being positive, because we're getting so many good features compared to Genshin that's getting starved of basic quality of life. You know, there's a difference.
By nobody's surprise, these new 2 characters, Mavika and Mona, came up with 2 new echo sets, which, by nobody's surprise, we all saw this coming. It's not good in a way of
Okay, so he's complaining about the fact that new characters have new echo sets. Fair enough, right? However, this happens in other games too. The only difference between the other games and Wuthering Waves is that the fact that the other games sort of stagger the release. Like, for example, Star Rail, they usually release either a planar set or a relic set, a patch before the character comes out. Now, I do agree that wuwa has to do that because farming on release can sometimes be annoying. But at the end of the day, is that predatory? Because it's not getting money out of you. It's an inconvenience, I think. It's not predatory, like, at all. Like, you're not going to spend money to get more echoes. It's not like we have a pay-to-win pack or something where you get, like, echoes or something like that.
You always have to be farming for new echoes every single time. And because Wuthering Waves have not made changes to the ecosystem, how you recycle your stuff so you can get better rewards for it, or do something with that, most of your echoes are going to go to waste. That's a whole long topic. I'm not going to.
Well, yes, the reason why that is because they're not time gated. We don't have a recycle system because we can get them for free. Unlike Genshin, Star Rail, Endless, where you actually need to use your time-gated materials to farm said echoes or relics or whatever, right? There is a reason why there is no recycle feature. Granted, people are calling for it. Totally valid, right? Of course you want a recycle feature. However, there is a reason why it has not come yet, and that's because we can just farm them every day. The only time-gated thing about them is the fact that if you kill all the enemies on the map, there won't be any enemies left. That's the only time-gated thing about it, and that's on a daily reset. So again, there's nuance, but you haven't read into it. There is no nuance in this video so far.
It's just a short video, just talking about some things that I realized that are very predatory in Wuthering Waves 2.6 live stream, but you know, nobody's gonna talk about it. Nobody's gonna bring these things up. People are just gonna say it's peak because of all of the new area.
Sounds like someone's jealous. Now, in all seriousness, right? Locking any sort of pulls behind a second phase banner in itself is predatory, right? However, there is one point I do want to make, and this is the point of nuance. You want to compare it to the Mavwika Sitlali situation, right? Here on screen, we're going to have two different sort of estimations of 5.3's pulls. All the pulls for all the banners. First off, you can see that the first example has Battle Pass and, I believe that's Welkin is monthly. If you have Battle Pass and monthly, you will have 121 pulls, and it says on the bottom there, 59 pulls for the first half of the banner. Let me put that into perspective. I believe Genshin Impact's Hard Pity is 90. 59 pulls with free-to-play plus, aka Battle Pass and Welkin, does not even guarantee you soft pity on a character banner. Never mind their weapon, right? And that gives a total of 121 through both banners. Now, if we go to the second example, here you have a similar figure. Of course, 25 pulls and 15,425 Primo gems. Now, the other one has 480, of course. So here we have two examples that are very close together. Now, if you guys don't remember about the Mavwika Sitlali situation, basically, Mavwika really depends on Sitlali, and they put them on the same patch, I believe on the same banner, if I remember correctly. I think I might be misinformed on that, I cannot remember. But that whole drama basically happened, and they gave you 10 pulls after those banners had ended. Now, of course, we can have a similar situation with Augusta and Iuno. Iuno is a very good support for Augusta. However, the problem here, and here's the nuance, people. Look at the 2.6 estimated asteroid count that came out today. Fresh, hot off the press. This is the reason why I'm making this video now, because I've been waiting. I have been waiting and waiting for this asteroid count to come out. So as you can see, 2.6 compared to 5.3 has around 3,000 more asteroid, with 2 more limited pulls if you include Lunite subscription and Battle Pass. So not only are you getting more pulls, just in general, right? The pulls that you get when Iuno comes out are for Iuno's banner. Meanwhile, when the Genshin thing happened, you got the pulls after the banners had happened. It's not like Sitlali was second phase, she was first phase. And the pulls came out in the second phase, when she was no longer there. So again, we have two distinct differences, but we want to do a false equivalent situation where these situations are similar. No, they are not. If you actually look at the small print, they are not similar at all. Granted, right? This practice is predatory. Locking pulls behind second phases, sure, it is predatory. But there is a key difference, and that's the fact that these pulls are for Iuno. It's not like Augusta and Iuno are running in phase 1 and then we're just getting some reruns in phase 2. That's not what's happening. We're getting Augusta first, then Iuno, right? Which also means, if you think about it, with the asteroids being staggered, you can actually get both units. Well, Genshin pushes both units to you in the first phase, gives you barely any time to get them, and then fobs you off in the second phase. So already, we're just wrong, aren't we? Okay, so now he's saying that 2 stories per patch is going to burn the game out. Okay. What? Why?
You're speeding the game up too much. Like, we're literally pretty much done with Renacita, done with Septimon.
We're not, though. we're still in Septimon, by the way. The Septimon hunting grounds are up next. We're still in Septimon. We're still in the same region. The thing is, that point is just ridiculous because, first of all, the reason why these stories are staggered is because releasing a 5-hour story to do in one sitting is just unhealthy. I'd rather it be well paced and released in 2.5-hour chunks for both phases. Plus it gives content for the second phase as well. I feel like that is just good storytelling. Not to like compare to other games or anything, but Star Rail does like a 7 to 8 hour story just pushed onto you immediately and then dries you out the whole patch. It'd be better if phase 2 had the second half of that story. It would make it a lot easier to digest. Which is what Wuthering Waves are doing. The reason why these stories are longer is because it just has more in it. Ultimately, this video is just made out of a boiling hate and jealousy for Wuthering Waves. Somebody that's clearly too invested in Genshin and is just jealous that Wuthering Waves is doing better than them. Granted, of course, I understand that locking 20 pulls behind a second phase is predatory. However, this whole video is based on false equivalence, so I am just going to stop it there, really, because I've already made my point and I don't need to go any further. I don't need to waste any more time, really. But yes, this is why nobody has touched on this subject, and this is why nobody will touch on this subject unless we get a similar situation to Genshin, one that's actually similar. But the thing is, we won't, because Kudo Games knows how to treat their player base, unlike Hoyoverse. So if you'll excuse me, I'm now going to go enjoy my better gacha game. I'll see you all later.